So now you know what cos and sine look like when they're graphed. What do you suppose tan might look like? Now I'm going to use the graphics calculator to help you visualize this. I'm going to use the same trick as I did to get this up. So I'm going to add a new page with a graph on it, and the graph is going to be cos of x. I should have put sine first, shouldn't I? Let me change that to sine of x. Let's do sine first. Then I'm going to go, it doesn't show the full curve because it's not in the right window. So let's go Menu, Window Zoom, Trig. That's better. Now, I'm going to go Doc, Page Layout, go back to the same layout I had before, and in the bottom one, I'm going to add another graphs, and I'm going to graph cos x. Again, it doesn't look beautiful at the moment because the window's wrong. Menu, Window, Zoom, Trig. Okay, the next step you are going to find difficult. It's probably the first time anyone's asked you to think about it like this. So don't worry if this seems a bit hard and a bit strange. What I want you to imagine doing is say, what is sine x divided by cos x? Now let me drag these labels out the way a bit so it's easier to see the graph itself. Okay, so at this point here, remember tan is equal to sine divided by cos. So at this point here, what's the value of sine? It's 0. So tan must be 0 here. As I go up here, sine is increasing and cos starts at 1 and is decreasing. So the value of tan is going to increase. The top of the fraction's increasing, the bottom of the fraction's decreasing. So tan is increasing. How big does tan get? Well, have a look at what happens at 90 degrees. Sine x is 1, so the top of the fraction is 1, but cos x is 0. The bottom of my fraction is 0. Can I divide by 0? No. Tan becomes very, very large at this point. Very, very large. Let me draw onto this graph for you, a graph of tan x, and you can see what I'm talking about. Interesting shape, isn't it? So we started at 0 and it's increasing. It actually increases right out to infinity. Because the bottom of my fraction, sine over cos, the bottom of the fraction is cos, is 0. But just after that point, sine is still between 0 and 1, but cos is now negative. So it comes back from negative infinity. Comes up through 0 at about 180 degrees again, then goes, then goes back up to infinity. Goes back to negative infinity. Now, if that seems a bit hard for you to get your head around, that's okay. As I said, that's probably the first time anyone's asked you to look at a couple of graphs and put them together like that. That's called composing those two graphs. In any case, at this point, what's really the most important thing is to recognise the shape of the tan graph and the fact that tan graph, while periodic, same as the sine and the cos, they're called periodic because they recur periodically. The tan graph is also periodic, but it has discontinuities, is what we call that. It has places where there is no defined value for tan. Why? Because we're dividing by cos of 0 at those points.